Ladies and gentlemen, before we get into today's conversation, I want to share a little bit about 2Before, today's presenting sponsor of the podcast. I've worked with 2Before for over 2 years now, and it's really cool to work with partners long-term, and 2Before has been there for me for a long time, and they make an incredible product that I'm always happy to talk to you guys about. Breaking down 2Before for you, if you're unfamiliar, 2Before is made up of blackcurrant powder, and if you're not familiar with blackcurrants, they are antioxidant berries grown in New Zealand, and studies have shown that consuming them regularly improves endurance by increasing blood flow and removing lactic acid, and they also can manage inflammation and kickstart muscle recovery, meaning you can hit your next training session just as strong as you did the previous day. Today, I have a special code for you, the Running Effect 30, which will give you 30% off of your purchase. And I'm really excited to hear the testimonials of you guys trying it out because I firmly believe this stuff works and is a great asset to your training. Without further ado, enjoy my conversation of the podcast today.
Don't take yourself too seriously. I would get so nervous for races growing up. And now I think it's, obviously you get nervous. You always get nervous, but it's also excited. And I've just learned to really enjoy just like racing itself. Like I think racing and just like competing with others is just so much fun.
That was Paityn Noe today on the Running Effect podcast. It's a privilege to welcome on to the show today one of the biggest rising stars in the sport. She placed fourth at the NCAA Outdoor Championship 10K. And then last fall on the grass, Paityn, after a freshman year that was filled with setbacks and injuries, she came back on the grass. She placed seventh in the entire country in Madison, Wisconsin. And she's going to be a junior this upcoming fall. So she has a lot of eligibility left and a lot of opportunities to stamp her name amongst the greats. She also, if I'm not mistaken, holds the Arkansas school record for the 10K, which we talk about in this conversation, whether it's the 10K, the 5K, what her main event is. I really enjoyed this conversation with Paityn. She dives deep into her training, her mindset, her fueling, her nutrition, the importance of that growing up in Iowa in a family with a coffee and ice cream shop. This was a fun, wide-ranging convo. Right before this conversation, the Breaking 4 project from Nike happened, so we start out the conversation with a little discussion around that because it was hot on our minds. Outside of that, I hope you guys enjoy this one. If you do, share it with a friend, a family member, a teammate, someone who you think would find value and benefit from it. Give us a 5-star review. It takes 3 to 5 seconds, and then make sure you are following or subscribe to the show wherever you listen so you never miss another episode. And without further ado, enjoy this conversation with the one and only Paityn Noe. Paityn Noe, welcome to the Running Effect podcast. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
First question for you. We rescheduled this podcast because of the Breaking 4 project. What are your, it happened probably 3 hours ago. What are your quick takes from it?
Oh man. I mean, it was awesome. Just watching it itself, it was crazy. I mean, going into it, I don't think a lot of people I don't know. It's so hard to drop 7 seconds and break 4. That's insane. So just, I think going into it, it's just let's just see almost how fast she can run, and anything is amazing because she's an amazing athlete. So I just found it so, incredible. And all the pacers and stuff that were helping it was just so cool, the entire event. So yeah, it was fun to watch.
Okay. Call me a hater if you must. I think it was incredible, but I think it was overhyped. Am I crazy for saying that? The reason being, I was like, she's not going to break 4. There's no way she's going to break 4. But I was like, if she runs 403 or even 404, as a pro athlete, your margin for a PR is so small. Even you, it's very hard to take that much off of a mile PR. So it's 7 seconds, ain't no way. I was like, no pro is doing that in one race. But I was like, if she does 3 or 4, now we're talking. And now a woman has gotten close enough to sub 4 where it's less than a second per lap. 406 mid, barely breaking her old world record. I was like, I kind of wanted more.
I know. It's just the entire event itself is really cool, but it's definitely kind of seems, impossible to break 7. I think in my head, I was just as long as she runs faster than 407, it'll be good. If she didn't do that, I think definitely the entire event would have kind of been, kind of not as great as it was. And I think it's just obviously a lot of pressure on her because everybody's there for you. There's so much money put into this, all the technology that they're doing, and it is cool. Like, it's just like that she can go out and try to do this. But yeah, I still think it's just cool that, like, a lot of people were saying that she even tried. I mean, it's so brave to go out and try. So
I also think the other thing, and this might be a hot take as well, but I'm like, if she ran that at a Diamond League, she would have gotten way more hype than she did, in my opinion. Like, there wasn't really that much of a crowd. I thought it was weird they didn't pack the stadium. And then the whole male pacer situation I thought was cool but confusing. It's like,
yeah,
why is there a guy in lane 3?
there was definitely, I feel like, I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of science behind it. I definitely think there were some Pacers in there that maybe they just threw in because the Pacers wanted to be in the race. So they were like, hey, we'll throw you in and it doesn't hurt anything. Because, yeah, there was some guys that I'm like, I don't think you're doing anything. I actually was talking about, like, the entire stadium with my dad, and I was like, I feel like if I don't know, if I were Faith and the entire stadium was filled, I'd be like going around, because like when you get into championship style races, it's like can be like overwhelming how many people are cheering. So I feel like for her, like almost like just having that backstretch is good because you have people cheering for you, you get good, but like it's not like so overwhelming having like the entire stadium filled, which I think is kind of the reasoning behind that. But yeah,
It looked
anyway,
like COVID. It felt like COVID. It was
yeah,
like
uh-huh.
half the stadium's empty. Anyways, 406, way faster than I'll ever run. I shouldn't be hating. It's technically a world record. But that's the weird thing, too, with these. It's like, it's not actually an official world record. So it's like,
Yeah,
nah. If she ran 359, I wouldn't care. But I'm like, it's
yeah.
not even the world record.
No,
So
yeah, you could say the 407 is more impressive just because
I think
obviously
it
it was
is
in a race.
100%.
Yeah.
Because she wore illegal spikes, illegal
Mm-hmm.
pacers. The race
Had
was just
all
for
this
her.
technology thing, and
Yeah.
who knows, like maybe on a different day she would have ran like 404 or something. It was just like that's what she had on the day. You never know how she felt, but still, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from a budget perspective, too. Like with the marathon, it's like a one-off. It's like you can only try to break two once. With the mile, I'm surprised they didn't do like 3 races like series like leading up to this, or like I could be wrong on this, but I don't remember her like doing many races in the lead up to this, and I
Oh
think
yeah.
that could have been cool to like run a 407 and then like a 405 and then like have the actual attempt. I
Yeah,
think
I
could
think
have
it's
been
also
cool.
she's like also thinking about worlds and stuff, so can't race like too many times I guess before that, and I don't know. It's got to be, there's probably so much logistics that went into it and reasoning behind everything, but
Yeah.
I would think that they got some pretty good marketing out of it. Just
That's what I'm saying. I think it
yeah.
was more of a marketing project by Nike, which they crushed, than an actual sub 4 attempt.
Yeah.
So I could be
No,
wrong
yeah.
on that, but I'm
Mhm.
like, I wonder if there's anyone who actually believed she could break 4 who like knew running. Because
Yeah.
again, 7 seconds is, or over 7 seconds is,
Mhm.
you just
It's
don't
a
see that
lot.
happen at the pro. Yeah, you don't see that at 5K, much less the mile.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I still want to know what that guy was doing in lane 3 because I think there was some pacing strategy, but I was like, that wasn't really explained. It was like, let's see how many Nike athletes we can just like shove on the track.
Yeah.
Great
I think
marketing.
again, I think just some people wanted to be there. They just wanted to like,
Yeah.
I want to be on the track, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Totally. Talking about you, how many meters would you have lasted in that race?
Oh gosh. I don't even know. Oh man, she went through like 800 and like 201 or something. Oh, I'm not an 800 runner at all, and I think my speed is not great. So I would like to think maybe 400, but that would be hard.
How fast are you normally running in practice, like to close a rep?
Oh man.
You ever split like 28, 27?
I don't know. I don't think if I haven't done it in a while. Like we close. Mm, I want to say during indoor, it was like I would close in like 400s and like a 66 or something. But again, I don't do a lot of the speed work, so
I know you're a big 10K runner. Do you feel like that's your main event moving forward if you could? Or do you feel like that's just what you've happened to have success at recently?
yeah. I think people ask me that a lot, like which one's my favorite, like the 5K or the 10K, and I think honestly the 5K is probably my favorite. but the 10K is definitely, I think I have more strength in that, relative to just like the field at like the NCAA, for example. Um, so I think, I mean, the 10K, it's just brutal. Like the 25 laps is just brutal. I think that's why it's hard to actually love the 10K. The 5K is, I feel like, more fun, more strategic when you get into racing and stuff. But I can see myself like in the future running on the roads and stuff, 10K and up. I would really enjoy that because I think 10K on the roads is way different than 10K on the track in terms of enjoyment. So yeah.
Do you see yourself going above that? Do you think about half marathons, marathons?
Yeah, like not anytime soon, but definitely in my future career, I want to do marathons and try out that. And I think that could be fun. But again, that's a while away.
What would you say, like would you say you discovered that you were more of a strength runner? Was that early on that you figured that out? Was that later? When do you feel like the moment was when it clicked?
Yeah, I think like just when I started running, I found out that like, well, during middle school, if you're like distance runner, you do like the 800. And so I found out I was better at the 800. And then in high school, it was funny because I would like run an 800 and then like the 1500, and my 800 be like the same pace as my 1500, and I like could not go faster than that. And I was like, okay, so I'm definitely not the speed person. It's definitely more of the strength because I could hold it for a long time, but going faster was a little bit harder. So yeah.
For you, we're now a little bit after NCAA, so you've had some time to reflect. What are your reflections post NCAA's, and reflect on the whole season? How cool it was to. I don't know if I'm a big believer in breakthroughs. Like I feel like breakthroughs are the result of a lot of work behind the scenes, but definitely probably your most impressive season to date.
Yeah, I think so. I think just going into the year, I had big expectations and just wanted to do some big things. And so I think with each season, I was able to accomplish some of those goals. And I think with every runner, you kind of come away from the season like still wanting more and always wanting more. And that's just like something you always chase. So especially after this last outdoor, just um coming away and just like finding that I'm so proud of how the effort that I put into each race. And yes, I want more, and yes, I want to be finishing further up, but I think each race was a good experience. And I always look at the race as something to learn from. And I think every race that I ran in cross country and indoor and outdoor, like I was able to learn and gain more, just tools in my pocket that I can use in my future races. So I think that's what this year was mostly about, was just kind of getting into more of racing and just learning all that stuff, but also just like growing as an overall athlete. Yeah.
I know your freshman year at University of Arkansas, you had a lot of setbacks, injuries. How much did it mean to you to bounce back in the way that you did?
Yeah. I mean, that's always so hard. And I feel like that's what a lot of freshmen runners in college face is they get injured, and it's definitely just like a struggle because you're away from home and you don't have your normal like support system, and it's just a lot of new, and then you like don't you get can't do the one thing that you like love to do and is your one constant. So that was really hard, but I think just like getting through that and then learning from it and just learning, okay, what caused that, how can I prevent that from happening again, and then just um kind of just building that strength is what really helped me and helped me this year too to stay healthy and have a complete season that was pretty much no setbacks, no major setbacks. So
I've been to many schools. I wouldn't say many, but enough schools and enough cities to know it is a cool city. Fayetteville, Arkansas was not on my list that I was expecting to be a very cool city. I was pleasantly surprised. It's got to be like top three favorite college towns, and it's a true college town. Like I live in Columbus. Columbus, you cannot say is a college town despite Ohio State being here. It's Columbus, and then there's Ohio State. Why'd you end up going to the University of Arkansas, and would you share the same sentiment that Fayetteville is pretty cool?
yeah, I would say the exact same thing. When I didn't even know like Fayetteville is part of like Northwest Arkansas, which is like just like these kind of like four main, I guess, towns that are like in Northwest Arkansas, and I had no idea about the area. And it's just like it's a great area, like so many people love it. And so coming to Fayetteville, I had never been there before and didn't know anything about it, and really like I grew up an Iowa State fan, so that's more of like the Big 12 conference. So I didn't really know a lot about like Arkansas itself. So going there was just and experiencing it, and just experiencing also like it's a big um track school as well, so like we've got the good facilities and stuff, and it's just like a really cool place, and I do love it. Like obviously I chose to go there. And then just for choosing it, I was just, along with the loving the town, I just wanted a team that would really be able to push me coming out of high school. I knew that's how I would improve, and I knew that the coaching staff that was there at the time would help me do that. So,
Obviously, University of Arkansas has a very storied kind of history, specifically with, I think, John McDonald or McDonnell,
mhm.
is how you say his name. What was it like to join a program that already had such rich history and contribute to that now?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be recruited by Coach Harder, Lance Harder, who had a great coaching career at Arkansas. As one of, I think, one of the best coaches kind of ever in the NCAA. So I had him for basically my first year. He was still there helping out, and that was awesome. And he's a great coach, and I got to learn a lot from him. And I still talk to him now. He's still around, obviously. So I think that was like a great opportunity, and I am so happy that I was able to come here and experience that. And just it's definitely awesome being also at a school that it just has like a history of winning a lot. And so people say like, yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but I also think it's just so much fun being able to go to meets and like compete for wins and like compete for SEC titles. It's um what makes the entire sport fun and makes going to meets and stuff special.
Is SEC best conference? What would you say to that? People say in football, does it carry over or no?
I would say I feel like people like the distance side of the SEC wasn't as, I don't know. I feel like some people would say it wasn't as strong, but I think obviously like now we're getting really strong, and like the SEC like overall like sprints, throws, distance, like it's a pretty tough conference. So, yeah, I would say the SEC, I don't want to say it's the best, but I definitely think it's a tough conference.
Let's go back in time. Take me through your start in the sport of running and what your first impressions of the sport were.
Okay, so I started running in 8th grade because I was a basketball player and I wanted to get some conditioning for basketball, so that's why I started it. And I don't think I loved it for a very long time. It was mostly like something that I just did, um and because I started and I was like decent at it, I was pretty good at it, I kept with it. People would tell me like my freshman and sophomore year, people would tell me that, oh, like you're running times that you could like get recruited to run in college, and I was like, no, like I'm not running in college. Like I just, that did not sound fun to me. I did not like enjoy it. I was like, this kind of sucks. And then slowly I learned how to actually like that. I didn't enjoy it because I was doing it wrong. Like you just like don't understand anything about running, and you go to practice and you're running all out every day for workouts, and hard or easy runs are hard, and everything's just hard. So like obviously you're not going to enjoy it. And so once I learned how to actually like the actual in and outs of running, and how you're supposed to pace workouts, and how not every workout and easy run is like something that you have to like die to do. I realized like I actually did really like it, and I was good at it. And so my like, I guess, end of sophomore year, I decided that yeah, I wanted that could be something that I would be interested in. And then like junior and senior year, just like um continuing to build off of it and just see if I could, yeah, make it to the Division 1 level, which I did. So I was pretty proud of myself for that. Yeah.
What do you think was the turning point for you to start to enjoy the sport of running more?
Yeah, like I said, I think I got a coach who just helped me kind of understand and just guide me how I'm actually supposed to work out and stuff, and that just makes it a lot more enjoyable when um because like pushing yourself every day is like opposite of what you want to do. It's like there's a limit, and each workout has a purpose and a goal, and you want to do the work. It's not about killing yourself every workout, because that's not the goal of the workout, and that's not how you're going to get the most out of yourself, which at the time was like very like, what do you mean I don't have to like try my hardest every time? I'm not going to get better if I don't try my hardest. But no, it's trying hard, but also being smart about it. And I think I was able to understand that, and then it just helped me start learning how to trust the process and just love the process as well.
Take me through, I mentioned you had a lot of injuries and setbacks that first year. Take me through kind of the transition from high school to college and how you kept your head afloat despite some of the setbacks.
Yeah, I think like going into college, the transition wasn't too hard training wise. Like I feel like I was prepared for it, and my mileage didn't increase that much. The thing that really had like caused my like setback was that I just wasn't prepared for everything else on top of running. The school, the walking to class, the like obviously you're not at home with your own like your mom cooking your meals or like getting your food is like it, so it makes it harder to like do all that stuff that helps with like recovery and just maintaining everything while you're on top of the running. So it wasn't necessarily the training that was a setback, it was the not fueling myself properly and then recovering well that contributed to my stress fracture, which is again what I learned that from that mistake and from that injury, and then I was able to correct it and not experience it again. So
I feel like you really started to pick up momentum last cross country season. Take me through that and just like slowly building the steps back to being the athlete that you knew you could be.
yeah, going into this cross country season, I was super excited. Like I knew, I don't think a lot of people knew, but I knew that I was gonna have like a good season, and I knew I had potential to have a good season. So, yeah, it was just about kind of building into the season and not obviously it's just cross country, like it's a long indoor outdoor, so it's just about like showing up to that and just building off of the base that I had gotten during summer, and just honestly just like competing. I think that's like the main thing that helped me have success was just competing each race. And again, like I think at SEC conference I was competing with some like the girls who went on to be the top runners in like the NCAA, which like just really helped prepare me for that NCAA championship.
I have to ask, I was at the Chili Pepper Cross Country Festival. You crossed the line with your teammate. Who decides who wins, or was it just up to fate?
Yeah, so going into it, like obviously we didn't have like a specific plan, but that race was funny. We just went out and then we found each other, and then the entire race we were just like running together, because going into that race, it's the first race of the year. We're not going out there to like run crazy. We're just going out there to like get a feel for cross country again, and run a solid time, get a solid effort in. And so we get to like probably like a half mile to go, and I like turned to her and I'm like, are we just finishing this together? And she's like, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And so we were just finishing together, and we crossed the line at the same time, and she got me by like whatever point something on the results, which was funny because some people after were like, oh my gosh, she like it was a fight to the finish, and she like we were just running together. We just wanted to finish it in together, and yeah, get a good solid effort. So
You end up going on to place seventh, if I'm not mistaken, at the national meet in cross. Anytime you're placing top 10, it's a big deal. All American's a big deal, top 40, but top 10 is really elite. What was that day in Madison, Wisconsin like?
yeah, that was awesome. I mean, just my freshman year, the nationals was just not what I wanted because of my injury that I was experiencing. So the race just immediately was just like I could tell it was not going to happen that day. So going into this year, I was really excited and obviously nervous, but it was on the Nuttycombe course, which we had ran before and is like a pretty famous course, and so I was just excited to be there. And obviously, it's like cross country is just different. It's just like that race itself is just different. So I think being able to finish well and just finish in the top 10 like you said was amazing. And I think again, each race that I have is just like a learning experience, and I learned a lot from that race and was able to take a lot away.
You go on to run 15:11 in the 5K. Did you ever think that was possible once you realized what like fast times were, and how crazy is it to see just how competitive the NCAA female side of things has gotten? I mean, a few years ago that would have been, I think, a collegiate record.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. My coach had told me going into like that SEC meet where I ran that time that he thought like I could run close to like 15, and I was like looking at him, I'm like, I don't know about that. Like his confidence was really high. My confidence was not there. But we were trying to make sure I had like solidify my qualifier spot, and so I just kind of went out and was just kind of running it on my own. And when I crossed the line and I saw like 15:11, I was, yeah, pretty shocked, just because the race wasn't a race set up to run really fast. It was just me running and trying to run a fast time, and I was having to run around a lot of people too because it's on a 200-meter indoor track. So that made it a little bit harder. So like after that, it was more of like, oh my gosh, like if I ran that, then I can run faster. Like I can run faster than that. So that was really just an exciting race, and it's funny just looking at it because you run that and you're like, okay, I want more. I want to break 15. Like I want to run faster. And like 2 years ago, all I wanted to do was break like 16. Like that's all. Like it's just funny how um it changes, and you just gotta appreciate it, but also know that, like, understand that I can do more and just keep working towards that goal. But
What would you say have been the biggest things that you've done that have allowed you to level up in the sport?
um the biggest thing, I would say first, like I said before, just trusting the process and understanding that you can work too hard and you have to be smart about it too. um but then I think another thing that is super important, um for me, that I realized, well, I've always realized, but then especially last year, um, is how important the recovery is, but more importantly, the nutrition part of recovery. Because I think not a lot of people truly understand how hard we're working and how much our bodies need in order to do what we do. And I think that's definitely something that I kind of see it as my, almost like my hidden strength, I guess, that I have a step up above people, is because I understand that. And I think especially on the female side of the sport, it's not um preached about enough by people. I think a lot of people experience injuries or something, and the first thing they go to is like, okay, I was overtraining or I wasn't sleeping enough. And I'm like, no, it's most likely you weren't eating enough. Like that's basically always the cause. So, I think that's super important. I think that's something that I've learned over the years and I've gotten good at, and I think it's definitely something that's helped me improve and continue to improve just from being able to recover and adapt from each workout.
How'd you learn more about that? Your own research, coaches? What did that process look like?
Yeah, so I in high school worked with a sports dietitian, and she was the best, and I credit her with a lot of my success, honestly. But I'm actually a dietetics major as well, which comes from kind of just like running and then working with sports dietitian, and like I just kind of fell in love with learning about it, and I too want to help athletes when I'm older. Just because I was one of those athletes that needed help too. So I think that's where I just like found that interest in, and that's what I continue to kind of like hopefully preach to others. Yeah.
Are there any other, you think, like X factors or 1% things you're doing on a daily basis that you feel like have contributed to your success?
Um, I don't know. I mean, especially like nowadays, I feel like everybody talks about those 1% and everybody does them. And I think there isn't something that I'm doing that is incredibly like different than other people. Like, I don't think, especially like training now, I feel like everybody does roughly the same amount of training. There's not some secret that people do that makes them 1% better than other people. I think it's honestly just like what everybody says, just the consistency day to day, getting in the workouts and recovering well, and that's how over time you get better.
I know you grew up in Iowa, being a fellow Midwesterner. Do you feel like the Iowa winters like gave you more work ethic, chip on your shoulder? Take me through growing up in the Midwest.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think Iowa, you get the winters and then you get really hot summers too for some reason. You just get both. But I think looking back, like it's funny. I'm someone who doesn't really love the treadmill in high school. I like hated it, and I would just go out and run in like some of the craziest weather that nowadays I'd be like, definitely not. Like I'm not. I'll just run on the treadmill. Like I'm not chancing that. But I just like did some crazy things, and I think it's just like just running in the coldest, windiest weather possible and slick, and just like now I'm like, no, I'll go to the treadmill. But I think it definitely makes you stronger growing up in areas like that.
So off topic, but I want to bring up that your family, I read somewhere, owns an ice cream and coffee shop. How long has this been the case? What was it like growing up in this, if you grew up in it?
Yeah, so we actually sold it like last year. Just because my mom and my aunt who actually owned it, they both have full-time jobs and they're doing this on the side, and then we're all kind of graduated. So it was just time to sell the business and move on. But um yeah, I grew up working there basically all my life. That was like my only job in high school. And I loved it. It was fun. It was just like you get to make ice cream and coffee all day for people, but it was definitely like every time I'd come home for the summer, I had to also go and work in this coffee and ice cream shop. So I shouldn't say I'm happy it's where we sold it, but it's definitely nice not to have to go work in the summer. But I guess it just makes you, I think it's definitely good that I had a job, and it makes you understand how to manage time, even though I feel like athletes are already good at that. But yeah.
Did that turn you into like a coffee ice cream aficionado?
Um, Ice cream, I feel like everybody likes ice cream. Like,
Sure.
how can you not like ice cream? But then coffee, yes. Like, I definitely, because of it, I love coffee. And lucky for me, Fayetteville has great coffee shops. So I, I wouldn't say that's part of the reason that I went to Fayetteville, but it was very, very enticing. They have great coffee shops there. I'm a big coffee drinker. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one I went to. I don't have my phone on me, but I could try to look it up. But it was like I really liked it. The coffee was good. I think I ordered the wrong thing. I looked at the menu and it was like in the fall, so they had like their fall seasonal menu, and I tried to order something pumpkin, and I didn't read the description well enough, so then I like reordered, and the second drink was good. But I'm trying to think how to describe it. It was like a pretty big indoor space, and they had like the smallest upstairs space possible. Maybe
Hmm.
it was kind of like woody. Um, I'll find it and text it to you because I'm sure
Okay.
you've been
Okay.
there, because it was pretty
There's
central.
so many. That's the problem. There's so many.
Yeah, it
So.
was pretty central Arkansas. I remember passing a bookshop to get there, and I remember there were like woo pig suey flags on the left side of the road. That's just about it. So
Oh,
um,
yeah, you'll
yeah,
have
I'll
to let me
find
know
it.
if you
I'll find it
figure
and
it
send you a
out. Yeah.
text. But honest opinion, was the family shop good? Was the ice cream good? Was the coffee good or no?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, we didn't make the ice cream. We got it from Kemp's, which is a one I think from Wisconsin, creamery. So it was like hand scooped ice cream. So I loved the ice cream. It was really good ice cream. You could get some like flavors that you couldn't get in stores. Um, and then the coffee was just like it was just everyday like coffee. Like I wouldn't say we were like there's fancy coffee shops where they like do everything like meticulously and they have like all the specific coffee drinks. We weren't really like that. It was just more of like basic lattes, all that stuff. So, but it was good. It was good.
Any other fun adventures growing up outside of running? What'd you do with your free time, and what do you do with your free time now in the summers?
um, I mean, I played basketball until like my sophomore year of high school. That was another big part of my life, but um that was another I guess hobby I had. And then after that it was just running really, and I wouldn't say like I'm too exciting of a person. It was like just running and school and hanging out with friends and all that stuff. Um and then like during the summers here, I mean, I used to work, but now I don't anymore. So it's mostly just running, which takes up a lot of my time anyways. So hanging out with friends, maybe going to the lake. Um, but yeah, just normal summer things, I guess.
Do you enjoy being back home in the summers, or is it hard? And like, do you have people to run with, or not so much? I feel like Iowa's kind of niche for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a ton of people to run with, which makes it a little bit hard, but obviously, like, I'm home for like about a month, and so I love seeing my family and all my friends because I don't get to come home that often, obviously. Um, so it's definitely like I try to enjoy each of the time. I would say running probably isn't my favorite, but at the same time, you're in the summer, so it's that building phase where nothing's like too specific and it's not like incredibly hard. So like I get through it. Like it's fine. But I definitely say like when it's time to go back, I'm ready to go back.
Totally. I did find it. The Collective is what it was called. I don't know if you've been
Okay,
there,
yes. Okay, yes, I know exactly where that is. Mhm.
but
Mhm.
it was pretty good from recollection.
Yeah. There's
And then
actually
like,
one right across the street from that. That's really good too.
what's the name of that one? Maybe it was that
The
one.
Puritan.
It may have been that one. You know what I did? So I went. I don't have my phone because I don't record with it, but I have my iPad. So I looked up in photos like Arkansas, and so a bunch of photos came up, and I took a picture of my coffee. And so then you go to like you can look at the map location of where you took. This will like zoom in. You can like go to the map location of where you took your photo. And so I zoomed in, and it's like the Collective is on. I don't know if you can see this, but the Collective's on like one side of it,
Mhm.
and the photo is taken on like another side. So I do wonder if it was the other one.
I
So
don't know. I think it
yeah,
might. I don't know, but the collective, the way you're describing it, also sounds like the collective. So
really.
I don't
Okay,
know.
I know the big one is
Yeah,
Onyx, right?
yeah,
Onyx, and
that one's a good
yeah,
one. I do like Onyx.
because that's like top rated in the country, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
actually funny. We had so the girl who like the founder of Onyx came and spoke to us at like a what was it? It was a banquet after
it was
our
Puritan, by the way. Looking at photos, yeah, it was
nice.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good. But she came and spoke to us at a banquet that we had, and she was just like, it's funny how like different that world is too. Like one of the top rated coffee shops, and she went to like barista world championships like so many years in a row and won one
Wow.
year. Like she was like the champion. I'm like, what? I did not know that was a thing, but their coffee's really good. So
Super good. Super good. Junior year coming up, if I'm not mistaken. Play seventh last year. I know cross country. Is cross country your thing, or is it track? What would you say is you're more talented at? Kind of good at both.
I feel like I would say like prior to definitely in high school, like cross country, I was definitely it was like more my strength. Um, but yeah, I think I don't know. I love them both. Honestly, they're just different. I really think they are, and it's been a while. I feel like since I mean, obviously since I've ran on a cross country course, so it's always fun to get back into that and start practicing on the cross country course again and on the grass, which can't say is my favorite, but once you do it a few times, you get used to it again.
What would you say the goals are for this season? What do you want to accomplish?
I haven't. I don't know if I felt thought a lot about it yet, but like, I mean, just every year, it's more of just seeing if you can improve on last year. So if I can improve on that seventh place finish, that'd be great. And then just competing again at SECs and all that stuff to help with team and all that. But yeah, just each year, just trying to look to get better. And I think the entire SEC or the entire NCAA just improves each year. So it's just improving with them.
What would you say to someone listening today who looks up to you, aspires to be in your shoes one day? What final wisdom would you have for them?
Don't take yourself too seriously. I think, especially like, I would get so nervous for races growing up, and now I think it's obviously you get nervous. You always get nervous, but it's also excited. And I've just learned to really enjoy just like racing itself. Like, I think racing and just like competing with others is just so much fun. And so I think just like don't take yourself too seriously. Not every workout has to be this like breakthrough workout. And it's okay. Sometimes I would like learn to tell myself like if it's a hard workout, I get so nervous. I would get so worked up about these workouts, and now it's just more of like if I get really nervous for a workout and I run it, and sometimes you don't do the workout, like it just doesn't work out. I think it's just telling yourself like hey, I'm like proud that you even tried. Like I'm proud that you even went out there and just gave it a chance, because that's brave in itself. Just like faith today, like we were talking about, like going out and just trying is just in itself um hard to do, and deserves some credit as well. So just trusting that no matter what, like trusting in the process, and if you don't hit one workout, you're going to be fine. Like just show up the next day. Um, yeah. And then just again, I feel like I have to always reiterate the importance of um, fueling yourself and fueling yourself properly, because that's really what helps you have longevity in this sport.
Paityn, final question for you. Speaking of fueling, the question I ask every guest on every single podcast: if you had Gordon Ramsay coming over to your house for dinner, what would you choose to make for him?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I've listened to this podcast before, and I've heard you ask that question so many times, and I've never actually thought about it myself. I don't know. Like I would never cook like a steak or something, because I'm too afraid to mess that up, especially for Gordon Ramsay. So I feel like if I could cook something, it'd probably be like a pasta dish, because I feel like those are hard to mess up. Like you add enough cheese and like cream and stuff, like it's gonna taste good no matter what. So yeah, that's
I
probably
like
what
your
I
thinking there. I like
do.
it. Paityn, thank you so much for the conversation today. Apologies for the all over the worldness of it, but I had a lot of fun. Hope you did as well. And yeah, congrats on all the recent success. And you're so young. Best of luck with everything you have yet to happen to you, and all the success to come for you. Because I mean, seventh as a sophomore, fourth in the 10K, big things ahead. So keep crushing it. Really appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, thanks.